If we didn't separate artists' politics from the artist, we would lose a lot. Some of the Italian futurists became ardent fascists. Ezra Pound wrote some really good things. Neruda had a lot more approval of Stalin than most of us, by us, I guess I mean me, would. So the first part of the question, can you separate an artist's work from his politics? We do. The answer to this can you is yes, we do all the time, and all the more so historically, so that Shakespeare's ideas about Jews, it's not a political matter, it's a cultural matter, and there's an awful lot we would deprive ourselves if we started bringing the template of our own political convictions to art. On the other hand, when you're making art, when you're doing the art of your own time, art's omnivorous. Nothing's forbidden to it. So you can't say, oh, this is too political or it's politics. Indeed, to ignore that aspect of life is to restrict your subject matter an awful lot. Just speaking for myself, I don't think I have to become an expert in constitutional law or an expert in foreign policy to feel a desire to express the emotions I feel when I read the newspaper. And I try to do that as well as I can. And then it's somebody else's job, a year later or 50 years later, to decide whether I did it stupidly or in a way that was moving or absorbing. People love cliches. The audience there'll always be an audience for a cliche, sometimes for a great work of art, not. You know, Melville ruined his career. He was popular for White Jacket, and people wanted another White Jacket. He probably could have written one, probably would have become trite. White Jacket's a pretty good book. It's not Moby Dick. But he was popular, his publisher loved him, he had a readership. Then he wrote this crazy book about whaling, and nobody could read it, nobody could sell it. It was such a big flop that it wrecked him. A bad effect on his life, you know. He suddenly was a very unsuccessful writer. All you can try to do is try to do something fresh. I don't believe there's anything that, in theory, somebody couldn't write about well. There's no forbidden subject. Great comics can make anything funny. Art is omnivorous. You never know when you might write a great work. Is it always the pitfall of the trite or the self-important or the this or the that or the banal? Yeah, sure. And in fact, as in Melville's case, sometimes everybody's wrong. Now, usually if somebody says, none of them liked it, they didn't get what a big genius I was, he probably didn't even say that. Sometimes it's true. We need to catch up to it. We don't understand. And the very literary critics who write about John Keats or Gerard Manley Hopkins or Melville, I hope they think the equivalent of me didn't recognize Keats. The equivalent of me did not say this Gerard Manley Hopkins is something extraordinary. The equivalent people had their attention elsewhere. And I think that all the time. I read poems submitted to Slate, where I'm an editor. I say, well, I have to assume that it's possible that Emily Dickinson or Hopkins is in here, and I'm missing it. Maybe making a mistake.